Compared to the deaths that are already occurring every year just from using the methods we have now, in comparison to the amount of people that died from nuclear, it's very, very small.
Well, the only people who died from nuclear that we know of are at Chernobyl. There was
Right.
50 first responders who died. They were the badly protected. They were sent in by a corrupt and decaying Soviet government, and then they were hiding the fact that there was a leak. The radioactivity went all over Northern Europe. And still, it was not what we think it is. It's not like Hiroshima or
Right.
Nagasaki. It wasn't that enriched kind of radiation. It was a low-level radiation that exists that went out there. And they went out. The UN went in and the WHO went in, and it was really exhaustive what they did. And they came up with a number of about 4,000 possible deaths from cancer after Chernobyl. Now, since then, there's been another examination by another scientific organization that says that is even in a high number. We don't really know because people die from cancer, naturally. So we don't really know how bad Chernobyl was, but nothing like what the environmentalists
Right.
say is the end of the world and
Or the
Armageddon.
HBO. I didn't see it, but I heard it was great.
Yeah, it was great,
Great
as
fiction.
tension and
Yeah.
all that. I make movies, I know. You can make movies out of disasters, but it's
Yeah.
not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair
Nuclear's
for
never had
humanity.
one proponent. That's what bothered me. Nobody
Right.
said it's a good thing, as opposed to it's this horrible beast.
It's crazy that it's something like that that's right in front of our face. It's not like something that has to be invented. It's not
No.
theoretical.
It's like, again, myth over. Use your reason. Go scientific.
Yeah.
Trust the science, which is very hard to do in a world where, imagine tobacco. It was sold to us as tobacco is good for you.
Right.
Car seat belts were not necessary. We have automobile safety. All the good things that happen, they happen against the desire for profit.
But even this desire for profit, we're talking about like renewables. You're talking about, it's really interesting that that gets connected to green. Everyone says that's green, this is green power, green energy, but there's very little that's more green than solar.
Yeah, it's never mentioned. We went to Davos with a film. Here they are at Davos, all the world's richest, biggest guys, movers and shakers.
Lizard
And
people.
They don't even have it on the agenda. They talk about clean, green, this, that. It's maddening. We had to struggle to get a screening of nuclear, and we got one. So in other words, people know about it, but they
It has to become trendy, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and it's almost really what has to happen. It's almost like that has to become the trend of being one of the people, the early adopters, to recognize that nuclear is the way out of this.
It's a sad thing because the truth is it worked for 70 years and it still works. And
Yeah.
the old ones work. But, okay, we want new stuff. That's the American way. We always have to have a new thing because we get bored with the old thing. Oh, nuclear, I heard about that. That's dangerous. Right? That's the way the reaction. So in the U.S., there are 50 companies working privately with some Department of Energy help towards making SMRs, small modular reactors, that are sleek, great looking, and they all have different methods of working, including natrium, including Bill Gates is there with a new company. And
Does this lead to nuclear powered cars? Because if so, I'm
yeah,
in.
sure. Well, no, that's another
I
thing.
want one of those.
No, cars, transportation. See, it's not just electricity that has to be improved. We have to nuclearize electricity, which is about a third of the problem. But we still have the problems after that of
Internal combustion engines,
transportation, and aside from that, heating buildings, heating offices.
Cooking.
Heating in general.
Yeah.
For apartments, for offices. And then there's the industry aspect of it, concrete, steel. These are huge, highly intensive CO2.
Yeah.
They consume a lot of carbon to make these things. And don't forget agriculture. Jesus, I
Yeah.
mean, it sounds horrible, but
Right.
ammonia is one of the worst. Ammonia is in the air. And you remember the Oklahoma bombing, but ammonia is terrible. And what we have to do is electrify everything. Look at all the people in Africa, Asia, who are coming to want what we have. They see television. They see what Americans have.